Hey everybody, welcome back to our Spring Sports Show, episode number 4, and coming to you on a chilly May Monday at the Boulevard, and with me we're going to be talking soccer and volleyball today, and we have our experts here today, and welcome in our folks from soccer. Glad to have everybody here. And what do you attribute the cold weather to today?
I don't know. I mean, the lack of soccer.
Lack of soccer?
Yeah,
it just kind of freezes everything up in your world?
Yeah, whenever you're playing soccer, everything is great and wonderful. The sun's great. Everything is out. When you're not, it's just depressing.
All right. And I think in the South, this may be what we call blackberry winter. We have these different cold snaps in the spring that different things bloom, whether it's dogwood trees, whether it's redbud trees. That's when everybody's sneezing and coughing and all of that. And now here we are, and I think this may be the last one, and it means that blackberries are blooming out there, which means they'll be ready to eat here before long. So in your native homeland, did you all have anything like that?
No.
No?
No. I mean, when you said blackberry, I thought you meant like a bear or a phone. I didn't know this was like a berry.
A berry, like blueberries or raspberries, but blackberries are in the South for the most.
I don't think I've ever had a blackberry.
You've not?
No.
You need some blackberry cobbler for sure. No question about that.
I don't think I've ever had cobbler.
You've not?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I'm struggling with this.
Well, anyway,
all good.
We're going to straighten it out. Hannah Murphy is here from soccer today, and please bring some calmness to the proceedings today.
I'll try.
All right, Hannah, let's. You were one of many student athletes last Thursday who were very busy and took part in the Raiders' Choice Awards. Talk about your experience being on stage and help making that show come off.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The people at SAC made it really easy. Like, we knew what we were saying before. We had a few practice runs, so we were kind of prepared when we got up on stage, so it wasn't as nerve-wracking. But, I mean, it was pretty cool seeing all the athletes in the stands and seeing, like, everybody's eyes on you while you're, like, trying to say who won. And we didn't know who won until we got the cards, so that was a little awkward, but yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, and everybody got to dress up. How far in advance did you and your teammates start working on your outfits?
I would say that people had their dresses before Christmas break.
Really?
Yeah, some people had their dresses before Christmas break. I got mine probably a week before. But
what designer were you wearing?
I was wearing Beginning Boutique. Yep. Online store. Yep.
Right. And what about you, Aston? Who were you wearing?
No, I was just simply being me. I was fresh all the way.
Well, that's every day.
That's every day.
Every day. All right. As Aston said, this time of year is a bit of a void in the soccer schedule because soccer is a fall sport for women in college, and this time of year, what's going on this time of year in the soccer world?
Recruiting. I mean, we're always trying to get better, so we're always out recruiting. That's a everyday thing, to be honest with you. And, I think right now it's also just trying to get our incoming class sorted to help them get here in July, and then doing all kinds of planning for the season.
Yeah. And this past year, you guys were about as good offensively as you've been in several years. and that had to be, that takes a lot of pressure off when you can score goals.
Yeah, I think we found a way to create and score goals. A lot of people don't know this. We still had Emma Pedersen, who was one of our top strikers, out for the entire year. So I think being able to find other people who could create and score goals for us is only going to make the team deeper at that position come fall.
Yeah. And Hannah, how much fun was it this past year with the ability of this team to score? You're not having to feel like you're going to have to pitch a shutout every night.
Yeah. It was really exciting. I would say also there were a lot of different people who scored in many different games, so it was kind of fun to see all the different goals that we had. I mean, yeah, it was just a good all-team feeling because everybody was very excited every time someone scored. So, yeah.
Hannah got her first collegiate goal
Yep.
this year.
Well, and as a matter of fact, we were talking about the Writers' Choice Awards. Your first career goal was actually nominated for Play of the Year.
Yep.
So break it down.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, Louisiana Tech, I think, was our last conference game. Yeah, it was just bound to happen, I guess, playing, So, yeah, it was pretty exciting to see it on the screen, too, and all my teammates were cheering when they showed it, so it was really exciting to see. Even if I didn't win, it's okay.
Yep.
It's okay.
Being part of being nominated was great, and of course the goal was was big in the game against Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to back up just a little bit and let you kind of tell your story on where's home, where you went to high school, what ended up getting you here, and all that. What is the Hannah Murphy story?
So I'm from Lakewood, Colorado. I went to Lakewood High School all 4 years. And I've been playing soccer since I was about like 3 or 4. But my junior year, I actually tore my ACL, so I kind of thought my soccer journey was over. I thought I was kind of going to be too late for recruiting, but I put in a lot of time, came back pretty fast, tried my best to get into showcases, get on coaches' radars again, and yeah, I just kept working, and so then I met Aston and Coach Hannah, and they kind of brought me here. So yeah, now we're here.
How was the rehab process? Was that one of the hardest things you had to do in your life?
Yeah, it was definitely very heartbreaking when I found out. I was already starting to talk to coaches, so I thought I had a good chance, and that kind of like really stopped my journey, I thought. And the rehab is not easy. There's a lot of times when you feel like you really can't do it and you want to just give up, but that's like when you need to keep pushing the most. So that's what I try to do.
And we'll talk about as we go along here how much you ended up playing, and it was a lot this year. But when you first met Hannah and knew that she had had a pretty traumatic ACL injury, what about her game, number one, caught your attention? And knowing that she was going through rehab and coming back, did that make you like her even more because of what she was putting back into herself and into the game?
Well, I mean, talent doesn't go away.
Right.
And it's a mentality and mindset thing. And I think, we're fortunate to have Hannah. She's a quality player. We knew that in terms of having seen her play. The only question was, did she have the mentality and the mindset to get back from an injury? And, those are some things that you never know until you're going through it. But I think we're fortunate in that we stuck with her, believed in her, and she believed in us. And now, we form a partnership where I think she's going to be one of the stellar players on our team.
Yeah, but I think the point you're making there is kind of what I was talking about. Is that you didn't know what you didn't know about her. You knew the talent was there, but to see what she put in gives you a lot of trust in her as a player.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you can invest in who you are and show the qualities and the identity through adversity, those are the type of players we want in our program. And Hannah definitely exemplified that just through the work that she put in and the work she's continued to put in.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think for us, just you find kids with the right character and you find the kids with the right fit, and that's what we look for. So it didn't take us long to believe that about her. Yeah. And now all this does is, in terms of where she is now, just reinforces our belief in her.
Yeah. How early in her high school career did she get on your radar?
Hannah was actually a late bloomer in some respects for us, obviously being in Colorado and with the injury, right? So I would say it's probably right before she got hurt. So that was about your junior year, maybe. And then just staying with her after that.
What did that mean to you that, you did suffer this injury, but they stayed with you all the way through that? I would think that would carry a lot of weight, because I bet there were people who, once you got hurt, you may have never heard from them again.
Yeah, I think it really showed a lot on the coaching staff that they really did care about not just you as a player, but also as a person. I mean, being able to like take a chance, I guess, on someone that you might not know if they're going to come back stronger, shows a lot about what they believe and how they believe in us as players, and that they'll kind of always have our backs even if we're going through something that's pretty tough. So
do you ever worry about that, or you can't, I guess, about you just go out there and play hard? Otherwise, if you're timid, then that changes that takes away from what got you where you were to start with.
Yeah, I think having the mindset of like whatever happens, you can't control stuff that like is uncontrollable. So we talk about that a lot as a team. Like, you can't always control the weather, you can't always control the refs, like you can only control what you can control. So I think focusing on that instead of putting so much worry and like what if, like what might happen, I think is pretty big. So yeah.
You guys got to the Conference USA semifinals last year. Talk a little bit about the regular season and what were some things leading up to the tournament that any specific days, games, whatever it might have been, matches on match day that really stuck out to you and you thought it was kind of special?
Yeah, leading up to the tournament, we had a couple of hard games. One of our last couple of games was against WKU, who we hadn't have beaten in like 8 years or so, which is always a pretty big rival. And going into that game, I think we kind of like had the mentality of like, we need to like win these games, otherwise we're probably not going to make the tournament, and we really wanted to last year. So we kind of like took it upon ourselves to like put our best foot forward and just like try whatever we could to get a result, even if like it wasn't always the prettiest. Like, we just wanted to fight until the end, and so I think that's kind of what we did.
Yep. Then you got into the conference tournament, and in the quarterfinals, you ended up playing the 4 seed Sam Houston.
Yep.
Ended up winning that match on penalty kicks, and so I mean, that those kind of things are what really make it exciting. And you guys were right there. And what do you think took you through in that match in particular?
I think in that it was kind of just our want to win. It was 110 minutes, I think, of soccer, which is more than most games. So it's pretty hard on your body. And also I think like we just had each other behind our backs, and like everyone knew that we were fighting for the team and not just ourselves. It was a very team win, and I wouldn't say anyone was thinking individually or anyone was thinking out of like self motives. So I think being able to like believe in each other and have each other's support, I think really helped us get through that game.
Now, what do you think, Aston, that what they showed in grit down the stretch, like she mentioned, beating Western, then getting into the tournament and finding a way to win that match against Sam Houston?
Yeah, I think, every year and every season there's always a match that, as a coach, you think kind of turn things around for you. Ironically, I think it was way before Western for me. It was the South Alabama game, which, we outplayed them and lost 4-3 on 2 controversial goals and a last-minute goal. And I think just looking at the hurt that they felt in that game, because they knew they deserved more, told you that this was a team that was not going to let up. And that showed throughout the rest of the season. Western Kentucky, if anybody saw that game, it was 2-0, but on the day, we hammered them. They didn't have a chance. Sam Houston in the tournament, you watch that game, we hammered them. They didn't have a chance. They hung on. And in some respects, we hung on during penalties. And I think that was their strategy was, can we get this game to penalties? Because it could go any way. But I think just the growth that this group made, and a lot of people don't realize that this is still a bunch of sophomores and freshmen that's on our team. Yeah. And the growth that they've made in the fall and the growth that they made this spring is unbelievable, and I think that they're definitely primed to have a good year. Mm-hmm. We've got some great new players that are coming in that I think a lot of people are going to love to watch, and they're going to be entertaining. And if you think we scored goal last year, watch us this year.
Oh, he's laying it out there. Did I understand correct? 14 new players coming in, is that right?
Yes, and we have 2 that are already here. Lexi Rabold is already here as a transfer, and Hannah Hopi, who a lot of people know her name because she's a Murfreesboro kid. So those 2 are already here as transfers, and then we've got, I think, 2 more transfers and a bunch of talented young players. Yeah.
Now, when I talked to Coach Myers, he talks a lot about, that spring or fall ball helps the spring. For you guys, the calendar just flips. That a lot of what you do in individual player development and also a lot of team stuff is happening or recently just finished up, but during the spring.
Yeah, I mean, it's so challenging because you want to build and develop the team in the spring. However, you also have a summer months of May, June, and July where you're not with them. And, for us, it's about training their mindset so that they can go ahead in those months that we're not with them to carry on the things that we've done. And then hope that by the time we get back in July that we're ready to go. I think our group, we faced several adversity this spring. We lost several players through graduation, but we also lost players through the transfer portal, which, really left us with a very small group in the spring. But like I said, with every crisis, there are opportunities, and we took the opportunity to get better. We took the opportunity to get stronger together. We took the opportunity to just reinforce our core values as a team. And I think that foundational piece is so much more impactful than what we did on the field this spring.
Are the new rules going to affect your roster size?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
and what are you going to be allowed to carry?
We're going to be allowed to carry, as of today, 28 players.
Yeah.
And so that poses some challenges, but at the end of the day, pre-COVID, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about that, our rosters were never beyond 28. I think with COVID, we went to 30 just because kids were allowed an extra year, and people got used to it for about 4 years now. So everybody balks at 28. 28 is actually a nice number for soccer.
How much of your recruiting is watching high school players, and how much of it is watching clubs play? Because I know a lot of it has to do with what falls within your own schedule, because you have games to play and games to coach. Where do you get the opportunity to see players in person the most?
For sure, club.
Really?
I mean, we go to the ECNL event, the GA event, the USYSA event, because that's where we maximize seeing the most kids playing against kids that we're also recruiting. And then we can do some follow-up work at the high school level. But for us, it's about going out and watching these kids play in their club teams.
Yeah, and as far as local talent, mid-state and in-state talent, in your tenure here, you've been here, 20 years now? Right at it?
24.
24?
Yeah.
Time flies when we're having fun.
It flies.
And tell me what you've seen on the local level, state level, as far as talent, coaching. Have you seen it grow and get better in your tenure here?
It's definitely has grown. I mean, the number of kids, even just here locally, King's Hammer just merged with a club that gave them an extra 1,200 players. So it's grown tremendously. I do think that the quality of coaching definitely needs to be raised a bit in order for our local talent to be able to compete against the teams that are in the top leagues in the country. But with that being said, there's still some quality players in the mid-state area. We mentioned Anna Opie, who is now here with us, but you also have Ari Dunes, who is from Oakland. And we've had our fair share of Siegel kids, Oakland kids, Riverdale kids, Blackman kids, Franklin kids. So if the talent is here, we're going to try and get it. There's no doubt about that. I think a lot of what we run into is we're also close to a lot of Power 4 schools. And so you'll find that the top kids in the state kind of gravitate towards those mid-level Power 4 schools, which makes it tough to get them at times, but we've been able to convince several talented kids to stay and be a Blue Raider, and the ones who have done have been really successful here.
Yeah. Hannah, are you excited about having 14 new teammates this fall?
I am super excited to have a bunch of new teammates. A lot of them also are internationals, which brings so much life and new things to the team. I live with 2 internationals right now, and I absolutely love them. And so I think that also brings so much change and culture to the team, and it really makes the season way more interesting. So,
now, like for instance, basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball players, American players and international players have a definite different style of play. Is it that way in soccer as well?
I would say for a little bit. I think when international, more of when European players come here, it's a lot more physical, I would say. They're very used to playing technically. They're really good with the ball on their feet. They're really good at dribbling, but then they get hit once, and then they kind of got to figure out, how am I not going to get hit by some 6'5" defender? So, yeah. But they adapt really well, and it's really easy when we're practicing together so much and just helping them try and learn the game here too.
Yep. Coach mentioned King's Hammer, and there's that. I remember the other night when we were going through all the different things that women's soccer does and for community service, which you all won the Community Service Award. You've never lost it since you've been here. You've been here 2 years, and women's soccer's won it both years. But is it a labor of love to give back to the game, like whether it's Stones River Club, King's Hammer, whatever you're doing in particular with kids, helping grow the game, helping better the game? Is that you or willingly jump out there, or do they have to drag you out of bed to do it?
No, I would say as a team, we are very open to doing it. It's very rewarding seeing these little kids be so interested in what we have to say and just our team as a whole. And a lot of the time, these kids come to our games and they cheer us on from the sideline. So I would say being able to create that connection and bringing kids out, watching us do what we love, making it more of a passion for them as well, I think is super rewarding to see. And I would say as a team, we actually really enjoy giving back to the community, especially because it's such a great community here. So
right, and they turn around and give back to you guys, and that's one of the things. There's a ton of stuff that people are getting pulled all kinds of different directions, but you all have given to those programs, and they come back to you and have really made the atmosphere at Dean Hayes Stadium on Friday nights or Sunday afternoons really special. I mean, you guys have a really neat home field advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're getting ready to go into the summer. He mentioned May, June, July when you guys spread to the 4 winds and do your thing. What's on Hannah Murphy's schedule for the summer?
My schedule consists of a lot of team builder workouts and playing with some old friends back home, playing with my old teammates, and also working with my dad. So
What does your dad do?
He's a scientist.
A scientist.
Yes.
And you will be a junior scientist.
Yep.
Working for Dad.
Yep.
What will your job be? This is interesting.
Actually, for his company, I help more. I'm majoring in finance right now, so I help a lot in their finance and business part of the company. So just kind of getting a grasp on that, and then also helping him with whatever he needs. So.
And so what do you want? If you could pick your job out, 2 years from now, what would your dream job be once you graduate?
If I could do whatever I wanted, I would probably be like a little kid's coach, but I like working.
Gotta make a living.
Yeah, I like working with the little kids, but I don't know how long I could take that for. So, yeah.
Well, good deal. Well, thanks for coming by today.
Yes,
okay?
thank you for having us.
Yep. Last chance. What do you want? What do you need to get out there? Camps. What else you got going on this summer?
This summer we've got some really cool events, soccer camps. Just go to mtsusoccercamps.com. We do have a project that we're working on that I think is going to enhance our fandom and just draw more involvement from the community in our program. Begins with blue.
Okay.
And
I do have one more question. Speaking of that, but
Yep.
the new Student Athlete Performance Center will be opening up, and it is connected to the football stadium, but that's a building that is going to affect every student athlete on campus, whether from a training standpoint, as far as weights, nutrition, sports medicine. What does a building like that and facilities that are going to be in that, how does that enhance your program?
Oh, I mean, as cliche as it may sound, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Every time I walk past this building, it's almost just like, it's surreal, because for such a long time, we've seen the plans and we've heard about what we're doing, and then all of a sudden you see a brick, and then you see 5 bricks, and then you see glass, and you're like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've been inside of it just from a tour, but I'm a little bit more visual guy. The little spaces without walls kind of gets me disoriented, but now that there are walls in there, oh my gosh, I mean, it's gonna be such a fantastic addition to everything that we do here, and I think it's gonna be hard to think of us without that building.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it and what it brings and the opportunities it's going to give our kids to develop and to grow. So I can't thank all the people, and I know we haven't even had our ribbon cutting yet. I feel like we have, and I can't thank everybody.
July 30th.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't thank everybody who's been a part of that project. I mean, it's just going to be unreal when we get into it.
There are a lot of stakeholders and a lot of
Yeah.
people who have given themselves to be part of it. So I hope they're all there on July 30th. But best of anything you can tell us about your fall schedule? Any highlights, non-conference wise, that we might look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, we still have some rivalry games in Belmont, Tennessee Tech, Lipscomb. We have a date here against Vandy. That's always interesting and fun. So it's a very competitive schedule, but it's designed to challenge us, to test us, and to hopefully push us beyond the semifinal in a conference play. So it's well balanced, and there'll be some really fun games, at Dean A. Hayes this year.
So this will be year 25 coming up.
No,
24.
24.
Okay, we'll have the silver anniversary next year, a year from now.
I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'll take it. Yeah, sure.
All right, Aston, thanks so much.
Hey, no problem. It's always good to be here with you, Chip.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Hannah Murphy, Aston Rhoden, thank them for being here with soccer. We'll release them, and we'll be working on volleyball. And while they're leaving and the volleyball folks come in, I'm going to tell you about some things that have kind of gone on. over the weekend. Congratulations to softball. They ended up sweeping UTEP over the weekend, giving up only one run over 3 games, winning 5-0 on Friday, 7-0 on Saturday, and 9-1 on Sunday. They ended up 17-5 at home this year and 26-27 overall. Baseball had Jacksonville State at home winning on Friday night, rained out on Saturday, and dropping 2 games on Sunday, including an extra inning game, 8-4 in the nightcap. They've got, right now, baseball 2 games behind Liberty for the final tournament spot, and they're they've got 6 conference games left to make that up. This weekend at home against Sam Houston. There is a midweek game for baseball tomorrow night on Tuesday night at Lipscomb in Nashville. Men's tennis finished their season once again in the NCAA tournament, dropping a match to Duke in the Knoxville Regional. It was their 17th NCAA appearance and, of course, winning their 6th consecutive conference championship. Track and field, who we'll be talking with next week, they will be getting prepared for the Conference USA Outdoor Championships at Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Stadium, and that will be on May 16 through 18. And tickets for that event, and it is a fabulous event if you've not gone. If you can only go one day, go Sunday, which is, it is final after final after final. Single day tickets are $10. Full weekend passes are $20, and you can go on GoBlueRaiders.com, find out more about that. So there you have your update at halftime, and now it is time to move into our next guest. And our second sport today is going to be volleyball, and happy to have Sarah Gomish here, associate head coach, and Payton Deidesheimer. Get it right again?
Yep.
That's 2 in a row. I've gotten it right with her. And Sarah is the associate head coach. Payton is a new player on the ball club. And while we were talking with Aston and about his 24 years here at Middle, you guys have been here about 24 days, somewhere close to that. So we go from one of the longest tenured staffs to the newest tenured staff. And Sarah, kind of welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And
thank you.
and it is so new that Alexa Keckler, the head coach, is out and about here, there, and everywhere, beating the bushes for players.
Yeah, I don't know how she's doing it.
Hope she's doing it very well.
She is.
So
she is.
that's good. So tell us a little bit about you, and because you have a connection with Coach Keckler, and how that came about, and then how you ended up here at Middle Tennessee.
For sure. So thank you for having us today,
Sure.
first off. But yeah, so coming to MTSU was definitely an easy decision, largely in part of Coach Keckler. I think I had worked for her for 3 years at Lehigh University, and it was honestly, it was a great time. I think working well together, and even now having the ability to add some other people to our staff, I think it all just complements each other really, really well. But like I said, Coach Keckler was at Lehigh for 7 years, and I was with her for 3 of those, and really just being able to build a program back up largely through recruiting and I would say a foundational culture. I think those were 2 of the biggest things in our time there. But yeah, my background is kind of all over. Started as a grad assistant, obviously, spent some time with USA Volleyball, and then I was at Fairleigh Dickinson for a year before coming to Lehigh for 3, and then at Virginia Tech this past season. So I think, having a pretty diverse coaching background has definitely helped me coming here to Middle Tennessee State, and just, we're figuring it out. So.
Well, and the thing is, looking at your career path so far, at still a young age, as here you are, associate head coach, and that seemed to be the next logical step.
Yes.
And so things kind of fell right for you with Coach Keckler being able to come here.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever she let me know this was a possibility for her, and she asked if I'd be interested in coming along, I just always say it feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Just because I know like the type of person that she is and the work ethic that she has and what the opportunities that are present at MTSU, I think it just aligns so perfectly that it felt like the vision is absolutely achievable.
Good deal. Well, we will talk about the vision as we move along, but I want to welcome Payton Deidesheimer, who I met last Wednesday.
Yes.
And the first time I had that opportunity, and that was, again, like with Hannah, it was backstage at the Raiders' Choice Awards, and you were a presenter.
I was.
And so kind of let's go back a little bit. Talk about you're from the Cincinnati area, correct?
I am, yes.
And so best chili in Cincinnati, is it Gold Star or Skyline?
Skyline for sure.
Really? What's the difference?
I don't even think I've been to Gold Star, so I wouldn't be able to say. But you think about Cincinnati and you think Skyline, right?
Yeah, I guess. Now, what is your order when you go to Skyline Chili when you're home? What is your order?
Definitely the three-way with the spaghetti noodles, the chili, and then the cheese on top, just to, what everybody's supposed to get. Or you get a coney, which is hot dog with chili and cheese on top.
Well, see, in the South we have Waffle House, and we have it scattered, covered, and smothered. So that's kind of what it sounds like, the three-way. And I've had Skyline before, and it's different.
Well, you either hate it or you love it. So.
Yeah, it's different, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't. I think I probably would if I was around there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, growing up in Cincinnati, were you a Reds fan?
Well, I didn't go to a lot of Reds games, but my sister and my dad.
How about the Bengals?
The Bengals, yes.
You a big Joe Burrow guy?
I'm a big Joe Burrow guy, for sure.
So that's going to be interesting to see how this year, because there's a lot of people talking about what the Titans did, similar to what the Bengals did, with Cam Ward. He's the next Joe Burrow, that kind of thing. Anyway, I
haven't heard anything.
So
about that.
you started your career just up the road in college.
Yes.
You were at Austin P.
Yeah, I was. So I played 3 seasons at Austin P. I also played beach volleyball there. And then after this season, I was ready for a change. I wanted something bigger, something better, a higher competition. And we actually played Middle Tennessee in my last season at Austin P. And that's kind of how I got a little bit of exposure to them. And then happened to be that they're an hour and a half away from Austin P. And it just worked out how it was supposed to. I was super excited to come here.
So when did you get here?
I got here in December.
In December?
December.
So you've been here 4 or 5 months.
So I'm new, just like them.
Yeah. So far, I mean, obviously, when a program has changes,
right?
It's kind of a shock to the system.
Yes.
But you talked to Sarah and had a chance to talk to Coach Keckler the other night. It certainly, knowing them, just meeting them, it would seem like that has eased some of the shock and made the transition smooth.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. I think
because it's all about from what's ahead.
Right. Yeah. I think obviously it was a shock to come into a program and, a lot of change happened, but, things happen for a reason. Coaches have been very supportive of us. They understand that this is a shock, but they're ready to help us learn. They understand what we need. We understand what they need. So we're working as a team, and it's been an easy transition overall. I think that just the support they give us and reassurance, just like everything we've been working on, it's very team oriented and culture oriented. So that's been really nice.
That says a lot from her that. The way you guys have handled the change has lowered their stress level. When that can be a very stressful thing to go through as a student athlete, and I can only imagine. She just got here, and all of a sudden, bam, you have that, and it to me that sends quite a message, and a good one.
Yeah, no, and that's where that means everything to hear coming from our student athletes. Obviously, that's definitely been a focus for us. even amongst ourselves as a staff, like personally, like we've all been through an experience similar to this, so we understand like the normal stresses and fears that are now added on to the normal stress load of being a Division I student athlete. So that's something of, we wanted to come in and just make sure that we are putting, like, I would say, the best and realistic foot forward. So that way, hey, this is what we are working to build, and you're here, we want you to be a part of it, and let's see if it's a good fit.
Yeah, one of the things that I have, having seen coaching changes happen in the past, and one of the things that I've had some of the most respect for, and it seems like you guys are falling right in line with that, is, a lot of times you'll see a coaching change happen, and it's like, okay, well, those aren't my players. We're going to get my players, and then things like that. But when it comes in and it's a partnership from the beginning, that number one, you chose to come here, and the players chose to come here, so you've got that in common already. And then to take that and run with it and to build on that would seem to be the healthy way to go.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where like there's obviously a mindset and a culture that we want to work to instill here. And I think like at the basis of that, if you take out all the athletic pieces of it, it's that, be a good person. I think that there's a lot of like, be a good person with the mindset that, hey, we're all here to achieve a common goal. Like, we want to win, we want to work hard, we want to make MTSU volleyball something that is respected in the community, and people look at our program and say, wow, like I want to be a part of that because what they're doing is so special. So I think that was something that, that's what we're working to do. That's our mentality when we are recruiting, when we are planning practices, like that's always like the overarching goal. So I think, having the conversations and presenting that to the athletes that were here already, like, there's a lot of good pieces, like you mentioned, of why they chose MTSU originally, and just, hey, like, this is what we want to do. Can we kind of push forward together?
And you take what you have and you build on it. You mentioned the vision, to take the vision and the culture, kind of give folks the cliff notes of what is the vision, what is the culture you want to set at Middle.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of that too is that we want this program to be a winning program, and for us to be a winning program, that means yes with the record, but also with a, like I mentioned earlier, like the program that students will, recruits, parents, local teams in the community, like fans, like anybody sitting out here today will look at MTSU volleyball and know that, like, hey, like those young women that are part of this program, like they are hardworking, they're diligent, like they are, you pass them in the street, they're gonna say hello to you. It's, I think it's a lot of pieces on top of that, but then whenever those pieces are in place, I think it translates to, to wins on the court. Obviously, we're doing our best to recruit very talented athletes to MTSU, but it goes hand in hand for us in creating the culture and recruiting the right athletes.
I'm sure that one of the first things you did when you got here, you started looking at film and looking at matches from home. And the one thing that you guys inherit is a great atmosphere and alumni gym for it to be your own. Is really neat, and for folks who haven't been in there, it is a heck of an atmosphere.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I think having your own facility, just even being volleyball now, I think there's been a lot of popularity behind the sport, but for us to have it here at MTSU is great. It's a great volleyball environment. It's it's gonna feel packed in there whenever we can fill out those bleachers, and I think it's just a really great environment. The ability to get loud, so we need those fans to start getting ready to pack the stands in the fall.
Was that part of your when you mentioned you all had played Middle? Was it here or was it in Clarksville?
It was here.
And did that kind of stick in your mind a little bit that there was a fun atmosphere at the game with the pep band and the cheerleaders and everything?
Yeah, for sure. I just thought like the gym itself, it felt very, very, I don't know how to explain. Just the environment was really nice. It's just, you walk there and this is Middle Tennessee for sure. And I really liked that. I just liked everything about it, just the campus, everything.
Yep. And so you got here in December.
Yeah.
And immediately had to start school. Now, how close are you to graduation? Because you went 3 years at Austin Peay.
Yeah, so I'm a junior, well, about to be a senior, so I'll graduate next spring.
Next spring,
Yep.
and your major is what?
Kinesiology, well, exercise science.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do? What would be your? I asked Hannah Murphy earlier. What would be your dream job with your degree?
Yeah, I think.
Do you want to go into coaching?
Thought about it a little bit, maybe, but I think my dream job would be to own a gym and be a trainer there, just be a business owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what you need to do is you need to stay here
Yeah.
and be a GA, get your MBA
Right.
from the Jones College of Business.
Right.
So
Thought about that.
that'll give you the background in
business.
In business.
Yep.
You'll have the other part down. So
Right. No,
you
I've
know.
actually looked into that a little bit.
So here, just do a little career
Just
planning
some-
today.
yeah. Good.
Okay, we talked a little bit about talk about yourself as a player, and what you bring to the table, and when people come to watch you, what will they see?
I would say as a player, I'm very hardworking. I think I'm very physical. With like, if I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to break your fingers pretty much. Like that's, and sometimes need to work on like not doing that all the time because that's not the smartest idea. But no, I would say I'm very physical. I'm very vocal. I like to have a lot of energy. That gives me energy when my team's energetic. Like we're all doing well. I think that's what I bring to the table. So I'm hoping this next season I can give that same energy to everyone, just be a vocal leader for our team, and just bring positivity on the court when we're making mistakes, just get our team out of that really quickly. So yeah.
Well, this team is going to have a new face. I mean, it's going to have a different look to
Yes.
it. But you all have been working out.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of give folks an idea of some of the ladies who are on the roster now that'll be here in the fall and what they can look forward to. I like doing this to give let you kind of give folks a scouting report on your own teammates.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I noticed when I came in here to MTSU was the grit and hard work that goes into this program. If we're not practicing, there's someone getting extra reps literally every hour in the gym. Just they want to get better for themselves. They want to get better for the team. So that was a very attractive quality when I committed here. Obviously, I love the school, but the team itself, like that hard work is what I've been looking for. So, I mean, the athletes coming in, I don't know them that well, but I'm sure that they have those same qualities. And if they don't, I mean, we're going to bring them to meet those standards, and I hold them high to those standards. So, yeah.
Well, it's nice to have a coach on the floor like that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, it really is. It really is.
Talk about where you all are right now from a roster management perspective, and what you feel like you've got to get done before fall camp starts 1st of August.
Yeah. So we have a lot of work to do. Obviously, roster management in the time of college athletics right now has been a really big focus for us. We need to bring in some key players, and what that looks like is we have a good group that we had here in the spring, and we're going to continue to add to that. Like pieces looking like bringing in a setter, libero, a middle, and another pin. We'd like to have depth on our roster. You never know. Hopefully you don't need to go all the way, but just making sure that we have, like I said, the right pieces and the talent there. We're bringing in 6 freshmen right now, and like Payton was saying, that the mentality, those were conversations we had with them as well, of like, hey, this is once again the vision, this is what we're doing, this is what we're going to work towards. Like we still look free to be a part of it, and thankfully we're going to take that, and they're going to run with us as well this fall. And we've been looking obviously in the transfer portal, and also with some JUCO athletes as well. So we'll have some athletes coming from all over.
It sounds to me that you all, part of the vision is to be a program where you develop your own talent. But the transfer portal giveth and it also taketh away from time to time. But in this case, this year, it seems like it could be a real asset to you guys.
For sure. And that's the thing of, like, I think everybody's story is very unique for when you enter the transfer portal. And I think that's where, for us, it's having that understanding of what your past experience was, and then this is what we have for you here. And it's just like that joint mentality of, like, is this going to work? And, we've been, as soon as it opened, we've been hitting the portal, having those conversations. And like I said, the biggest things for us is, athletic ability and then the culture piece. So both have to be there for us.
What about schedule? Because you guys, when conference season starts, you'll play Friday nights and Saturdays typically, and Friday nights again at AMG. It's electric in there. Did you all inherit a non-conference schedule, or do you have some dates that you're able to do some things and build on?
Yeah, we did inherit the schedule for the most part, but I think overall, like, it's going to be a very competitive schedule. Like, we're excited to play all of those matches, and just like with some of the exposure and like the competitiveness of the teams that we're playing, I think we're really looking forward to that. Obviously, like, I think every match allows for some type of lesson, whether that's going to be like the confidence piece, or it's going to help your RPI, or it's going to be a challenge for individual athletes or just the team as a whole. So I think for us, we have 2 midweek games that we're really excited about, and then the non-conference schedule is tournament style play, so those are long weekends. I think it's just as tough mentally as it is physically for our athletes, but we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
Now, Coach Keckler comes here from Lehigh, and but that does not mean that she and her family are not do not know a whole lot about this area, because I know is she from Mount Juliet as well?
No, she's from Maryland originally.
She's from Maryland. Her husband is from Mount Juliet.
Yes, her husband's from Mount Juliet.
And they both went to Trevecca, right?
They did. That's where they met.
So there is some local flavor with her, and invite folks when you guys get started and come on out and meet everybody. Now, Payton, you were here last Thursday night was your first Raiders' Choice Awards night.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I was very excited.
And you all were dressed up.
We were.
And Hannah told us where she got her. Who were you? Where was yours from?
Well, it's actually a dress that my friend gave me a while ago, so I actually have no idea.
All right. So what is your summer like? Are you going to be playing volleyball? You're going to have a summer job? What are you going to be doing?
Well, first I'm going to Florida with my friend, and then I'm going to be playing volleyball at my old volleyball club, just some open gyms and stuff, and then I'll probably be working there as well. And also I might be working at this gym for training people. Gotcha.
Okay, Hannah and the soccer team have won the Community Service Award 2 years in a row. What is volleyball going to do 3 years in a row? So what is volleyball going to do to steal that away from them?
Steal that? Yeah. Well, we really need to work on that for sure, but we need to get someone who's in charge of it, just set it all up. But we would definitely like to be more involved in the community for sure this upcoming season, and just next off season for sure we could just get involved way more, I think. So hopefully we'll be taking that award next year.
Well, good deal. Payton, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sarah, thank you so much for coming out today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
What about camps this summer? You all have camps? Go ahead and promote that.
Yeah. So we do have a plethora of camps. It's mtsuvolleyballcamps.com. We have different camps for all ages and skill levels and, your collegiate aspirations. So check out the website. We'd love to have you for a few days here in Murfreesboro.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. I want to thank Aston, Rhoden, and Hannah Murphy, also Sarah Gomish and Payton Deidesheimer with volleyball. Matt, are we talking track next week? Track and football, our final Spring Sports Show episode. That'll be next week. Don't forget, come to the Boulevard for some great groceries, and we're going to enjoy some right now. So thanks for being with us today, and be loud, be proud, be blue. Good afternoon, everybody.